Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, let's adjust this a little bit so it looks a little bit prettier. Apologies for my tardiness. I was visiting a friend who was in the hospital all weekend. She's a really incredible lady friend I've known since third grade. Not only is she a high-powered lawyer that works in blockchain, she also owns her own farm up north here at Phoenix in Winslow, and she decided to move a 500-pound generator. And she didn't pick it up so much as try to push it. A rock was holding it slanted so she could look at it, work on it. And the rock moved out of the way and it tilted back on her and it cracked two of her ribs. And the doctors over the last 3 days, there was 5 different doctors, thought it might be something to do with either her pancreas, liver, or gallbladder because her ribs were pressed in. 2 days ago, we thought she had to have her gallbladder removed. That is not the case. But throughout this whole journey, I realized sometimes it's important to sit with the frog Kambo medicine, which is what part of this session is here today, to see how we're feeling and how potential physical body problems can arise, and what things you're stressing before you decide to push the limits of physical activity. Why do I bring this up is because before my friend even lifted that generator out on her farm, she has these goats and ducks and all these wonderful wild things out there. She also changed out her water heater in her home. So she's a really amazing gal that she likes to do a lot of things on her own. But sometimes our body, I think, tells us one way or another that we need to ask for help, because I don't even think one guy on their own changes out his water heater or would try to change a generator. And if they do, they risk the chance of getting hurt. But it's like a macho guy thing. I think we need to get rid of this whole macho, not macho, doing, not doing kind of biases, because we cause a lot of harm to ourselves. And then ergo, other people have to come to our aid, and then we feel bad that they're aiding us. If you're an empath like me, you hate to ask for help because, it puts a stress in other people's plans. But I was happy to be there for her, but it made me think about all the times I've had even just a dis-ease, an unease in my mind, and how I would actually literally, especially as a teenager and younger lady, get really physically sick to my stomach. And I think actually a lot of my allergies were caused by psychosomatic frequencies that went off when I wasn't really acclimated to something I was unsure of. I think, there's some childhood trauma that we maybe remember or not even remember. For me, I was born 2 weeks late, meaning I didn't want to come out of my mom's uterus. And my heart just stopped and they put me on this cold metal slab. And it was like I was afraid to be born or live my life. But then I decided, okay, I want to live. My heart started back up again. And ever since then, my mom didn't really expose me to nature and outside. And, the first couple of years of life for a baby is very formidable. So if they're not exposed for grass or peanuts even, and sometimes it could be hereditary, I know that. But certain things, you end up becoming allergic to them because you weren't exposed early enough. I don't know if you've heard that. If you guys think differently or have seen differently, you could chat at me in the comments here. But one of the reasons why I felt called to sit with the Kambo spirit, Sapo is another way to call it, frog spirit today, was because I wanted to show you guys a real live demonstration. The wind was blowing and kept blowing out my lighter. I got a new one. I got a new stick. I'm just going to reburn in my toe where there's an acupuncture point. 2 doctors trained me to be a Kambo facilitator. And I wanted to do this today because I wanted to re-explore how my skin's feeling. It's clearing up a lot better. My scars are not being as pervasive with discoloration. And my mosquito bites are actually going away. And I think it's because I've been doing a lot of chakra alignment and attunement too. So how does Kambo and the rainbow go together? Well, it's the perfect combo Kambo. And the reason why I feel that way, and you might agree too, is that, when do frogs appear? They appear during heavy rains or just after the rain. And what typically appears when rain falls? Well, depending on where you're sitting and how you're looking at the rainfall and the clouds, typically from a distance to be observed, you actually see rainbows. So frogs and rainbows really do go together. Chakras, you might think it's just a spiritual woo-woo thing that has different energy centers from the root up to your crown. Beautiful crown chakra that you have on your head. But chakras are directly related to parts of your body. Like the root chakra, that was the most efficient in me a year ago. Surprise, surprise. I was in one of the worst relationships in my life, and I didn't feel grounded at all. It's like my root chakra was non-existent. And then I worked on that, and it's also known as the Muladhara, mula, money. And once I felt grounded, secure, not only in my power but also in my own belief systems and my own integrity, I left that relationship, and I also doubled my income at the same time. Can you believe that? And throughout that process, I actually sat with a bunch of people that felt called to not only sit with Kambo, but also be a facilitator. And to be a facilitator, you have to not only get administrated by existing Kambo practitioners, you have to self-administer and administer other people. And this was a hardcore intensive class I took over 3 days. They teach you how to take blood pressure. I took my blood pressure before I did this. The contraindications, historically, what happened to people who had high blood pressure. Contraindications just mean people that are probably not good candidates for taking Kambo because it has a bunch of peptides that tend to raise heart rate. So if you already have a high elevated heart rate, probably not the best medicine for you at this time. It doesn't mean it will be that way forever, but it may not be the best medicine for you at this time. But yeah, facilitator training, we have intake forms, make sure you sign them. We make sure we stay a good Kambo practitioner, make sure they stay very vocal with their patients and make sure that they understand that there are risks, just like everything. Even taking some herbs and plant medicines, there's potential and perceived risks. But you know what's crazy? And they said this in this Remedy documentary series about herbalism and the lost art of plant medicine, is that sometimes it's just knowing you're putting something that's good for you in your body and knowing that care is on the way and having someone there for you that's holding space before you even burn the gate. And gate is a hole you burn on your skin with the matsi stick. This comes from the Amazon jungles of Peru or Amazon. It's a special vine twig that you use to burn a hole in your skin. It's just a superficial layer just to expose the lymphatic system. I'm doing it between these two toes, the two biggest toes, because it is related to my pancreas, which also heals the skin. And I don't recommend, big disclaimer before I get going here, I don't recommend you doing any of this at home. This is for demonstration purposes. This is fulfilling a promise that I made in my virtual to jungle course. If you watched me since then, thank you so much. May many blessings come upon you. Maybe you find your own natural healing inspired by this, or you jump into something quite literally just like this. But do know there's a right way and wrong way to do this. So I just want to make sure you understand and see the certain things that you'd see if you walk into the right Kambo practitioner's office. Because you could just Google Kambo and it'd say frog. Some people say frog poison. That's just to be a sensationalist on YouTube to get attention. Why would someone do something so extreme, almost like WWE, people slamming people with chairs and stuff? It can feel that way when you take this medicine. I'm only doing a microdose. That's 1 gate or 1 burn hole. A full-on dose is considered anywhere from, if you're very tiny, 2 to up to 5, but usually it starts at 3. What you want to see prepared in an office or a space where they're teaching Kambo, it could be an outside space like this. You want to see a puke bucket that you can lean over just in case you get really woozy. It kind of helps prop you up. You want a nice comfortable chair or a pillow rather on the floor, because passing out is a thing sometimes. In Kambo, we call it the frog sleep, meaning your body just gets a hard reboot. Sometimes like the computer that gets overloaded with junk in it just needs a hard reboot and you just kind of fall over. So a facilitator should be right there next to you. Make sure you fall kind of comfortably to your side and don't knock your head or anything. You should also have lots of water. If you didn't bring your own, it must mean that your coach or the practitioner that's administering the Kambo to you supplied you a lot of water, you should have drank a lot of water, at least up to 8 liters within 24 hours, 40 hours before. If it's hard to drink that much, just try to drink as much as you can because it's a very tiring effect that you get from the frog medicine, and it's good to stay hydrated. Also, considerations on diet. Should be vegetarian. I am going to admit I had a protein shake this morning and a banana. Yesterday I had a burger. Ideally 4 to 8 hours, but if you can only live, without a burger or something 24 hours before and you can sleep through half of it, do that. It's just the salt and more kind of complex proteins and stuff doesn't mix well with this medicine because it's very pure, vegetarian fed or very lean medicine. I mean, think about what the frog eats: insects, vegetation, lives in water. It's not exposed to sodium and all these saturated fats and stuff that we're used to. So it doesn't integrate well in your system if you're eating all this fatty stuff. So I highly recommend that you adhere to a vegetarian diet. I'm drinking water. And more importantly, before you sit with frog spirit, mother, brother, sister, father, frog spirit, you should come with very clear intentions that help you align with what you want to get better in your body or even in your head. Disease starts in the head oftentimes. And if you saw one of my last sessions on my YouTube channel for Stephanie Compassion Guide, you saw that I made this crystal grit card. Some of them fell off because I was moving it around. It's like, okay, wax isn't the strongest type of glue. It's not a glue at all, but I used it to glue. You could see it in my process video on my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of tiger's eye, obsidian, crystal, a smoky quartz. Tiger's eye is really good for sacral, which is my most efficient chakra by far. And if you don't know what chakras in you are deficient, you just kind of feel, hey, maybe they are all deficient. That's fine. You may be right. There's lots of quizzes worth a Google, or I can send you a couple links. I probably will actually just post it in the links on the comments in the YouTube channel here just to be accessible to you guys. I would love for you guys to check that out. So that's basically why I'm combining chakras, rainbow, and Kambo, is because my intentions is to continue healing what is still my most weakest chakra. It's at a 20% activation ring. You can, again, find this out online. And see if I can send with my intentions in my breath the frog medicine that I'll have in my foot. See if I could send it up into my sacral chakra, right around my womb, about 2 inches below my navel. And see what I'm feeling and just sit with it. And since it's a microdose, what typically happens is you feel a warm wash and you might sway a little bit, but you won't feel on a full-on purge. I have the puke bucket just to show you what it looks like. When you do a full-on dose, like I said, about 3 to 5 gates, that's burn holes, you get really woozy. You purge, you get the frog face. It means look like you had Botox, but we call it the Botox of the Amazon because it's just the medicine that makes you look like a frog. And it just means I like to think that the frog spirit, brother frog, sister frog spirit, really wants to sit with you and saying, hey, I'm activating in you now so much now. I want you to know I'm here. Your face looks like me. I'm going to actually post some pictures and maybe put a collage on what some of me and my practitioner friends, if they let me, looked like after sitting with frog spirit, because they quite literally had the frog face. And then after going through the unpleasant purging part of it, they were so grateful that they sat with it and they got some really good insights from the experience. So yeah, frog face, frog sleep, passing out, sometimes just feeling very flush and drinking water. If you took the Kambo and it's already sitting in your skin, which is just this peptide stuff right here, which I spray, and I'm going to administer to my burn hole once I make it with a knife. I have to get it wet first. And I'll get a knife. It'll sit almost like a booger. I scrape up with the knife. I don't know why I didn't grab the knife. I also have to grab the hot base. So I'll go ahead and grab it and come back real quick. Looks like a little booger I scrape up that's wet off of this stick that's stored in a dry banana leaf or this nice dry cloth that I store inside. Nice dry space. And I just make a little booger size. It looks like a booger, just like a white kind of glue, almost a glue glob. It's the frog peptides. I ball it up and I put it right on the hole or the gate rather that I burned. And it goes right into the lymphatic system. You don't want to burn a hole, not you. I don't accept you to do this, but no practitioner should burn anything past the first layer of skin. So we're just exposing it to the lymphatic system. That's where we want it to start. The hole should never be bleeding. So you want someone that knows how to apply the right amount of pressure and where they want to put the gates. In the traditional Native American tradition, the Native peoples, tribes of the Amazon, in many cultures, not all of them, just a huge chunk of them, traditionally women get it on their legs, the female triangle pointing down. Males, both together make the Star of David. Males get it above their body and on their arms. Women get it inside their ankles. In modern Kambo practice, people that really sit with it and try it, practitioners that know different meridians and how different acupuncture points relate to different systems that can relate to different organs, they do a more advanced practice. I was trained by a couple of chiropractors and a doctor and a couple of nurses in attendance. So I was in good hands. I was in a great company. And they taught me some tricks on how to really open up gates to apply in a very deliberate, intentional way to heal certain real ailments I've had and experienced in my body. Right now, there's a couple of mosquitoes flying around. That's to be expected because we've had some monsoon weather here in Arizona. And then we have some wind. I'm going to go ahead and get my hape because there's nothing that goes better with Kambo than hape. Hape is a ceremonial snuff that you take up your nose. I brought the tepe, which is where I'd actually administer it to someone else if I was sitting in ceremony. But I have a curipe that I put up my own nose, so it's much shorter. And I just take one sniff up the right, the divine male side. I start with the side I am less leaning towards, and then the divine feminine. And it really helps reset, almost like lighting up Christmas tree lights, but in your brain. And I feel like it's almost like that scene in Mission Impossible when they're blowing dust to see where the wires are and blowing dust and seeing what parts of my brain are really lighting up. And if anything, if you're not that advanced yet and you just started working with hape ceremonial snuff, which is just ashes of very, very healing plants. And there's different varieties for different things, for sinus, for arthritis, for allergies, for many different ailments. Hape is taken for that up the nose, and it's used in ceremony. And it is used often as another combo in the frog medicine ceremony. So I think that's a perfect thing to do. And with the crystal grids, like I made in my crystal grid video, like I said, it was on my channel. I'm going to hold it over my sacral chakra in front of my womb, just to really sit with the intentions once I'm done with the gate burning. So I'm going to go ahead and get a knife and a curipe and my hape, the hape I want to take for today. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and post it down there. I'd be happy to answer them. Let's see what I got here. I'm going to go ahead and get the hape, the ceremonial snuff, and my curipe. I think I also want to get the gong bowl, and to really kind of usher in and call upon the wind and see how the spirit's feeling this right now today. I'm going to consult the wind and see how Mother Nature feels about this sitting ceremony today. But feel free to, if you're a subscriber, to chat anything in the comments, and I'd be happy to chat back at you. Be right back. So again, my beautiful light beings, when you sit in a professional, and I know that could be subjective, when you sit with a practitioner you trust with Kambo, they're going to, And just make sure you read the fine print. They're always going to give you a waiver to sign saying you are aware of the risks. It's like checking into, you know, in a way, a hospital. You know, there are risks with everything. And you tried traditional medicine. A lot of people that I sat with tried traditional medicine, and Kambo greatly helped them heal. Even in the radiation therapy practices, there was 2 people I sat with that also went the practitioner path, being Kambo certified so they could serve the frog medicine, the ancient frog medicine. They actually used Kambo to help them with the radiation therapy, and it actually helped them push and clear the free radicals, because the way chemo works, it blasts the cells, but then it creates a bunch of free radicals. It actually helps those bad agent cells, the cancer cells, kind of just implode and handle themselves and go away completely. There's no free radicals. So there's some amazing, more science-based things. I have a whole PDF. I am not a doctor, but doctors made this PDF, and I'm reading it all the time. There's about 200 different peptides in the body, plus way more. And there's dozens of them that the Kambo integrates perfectly with and activates. Tootsie's like really feeling it, my cat, helping, giving me support. It's like, you can do this, mama. Okay, well, we're setting up our Kambo. Thank you, Tootsie. Got the stick, and it's perfectly fine. You can see the practitioner actually prepping the Kambo. It's actually a good thing, so you actually see where they got it from. And it just loosens up the mucus that's sticking to the stick until it makes a ball. And as soon as it makes a ball, I just let it sit. I let it sit. Looks like a little booger at the end of my stick. I don't know if you could quite see it, but it's a little white peptide of the frog clump. I got my Motzi stick. And I usually blow the Kambo before, but I like the whole audio sensory, full sensory experience. Put some rose oil in my points. And remember, my personal intentions is to heal my sacral. If there's another chakra you're not sure, hey, Stephanie, it's something to do with my lungs, I don't feel like I can fully breathe, that is your solar plexus. It's right here. You want to breathe deeply and send the frog healing medicine to your solar plexus while breathing deeply. If it's in your heart is a chakra. You can put the intentions while you're where you have the practitioner make the Kambo, have them help you come up with some intentions or some incantations to send the medicine to your heart if your heart feels broken. You know, heartbreak is a real thing. You can feel it. I once went through heartbreak when I was younger, and I felt like my heart literally teared in two. So that's real. That's body specific. This fan is when you get a full dose, you run really hot and then cold. It's good to have a blanket when you're doing a full dose. Again, I'm just doing a microdose. But if you run really hot, someone will probably be behind you, fanning you. They also take a cigar and they blow the ceremonial smoke on the crown of your head, really blessing you and helping any of the bad energy come out. Panama is like they call it, negative energy. That's something that you actually purge on a full dose of Kambo. And this is Condor Eagle feathers, and this is a ceremonial fan that they use to actually cool you down. And it actually works really good, and I love it. I just love the look and feel of it as amethyst, quartz, crystal. Absolutely love it. So there's that. And a little bit further up ahead, you can't see it because I think it's just out of the camera vision, is my awesome quartz staff. And I love charging it by the full moon, and sometimes I bring it out during the new moon to help me plant seeds of intention. And sometimes I swear I see it glowing because rose quartz is really to unconditional love, and it was the first crystal I picked up in a rock shop, and I was just absolutely entranced by it and gravitating towards it. So Motzi stick, I'm going to go ahead and burn the hole just so I can open it and see how I'm feeling with just this step out of the way. Ideally, get like a torch-like lighter that really burns it really hot, almost blue. So then you could just put it for a very limited time on the top layer of your skin and hold it there and push it down so it like automatically rolls the skin. And then you can roll the rest of it off. So I'm putting it on my foot. Don't try this at home. I'm just showing you how to do it because this is what will happen when you're in ceremony or sitting. And sometimes it goes out so quickly that you couldn't fully do it. So I'm going to go ahead and light it. And if your practitioner does it more than once, burning it, it doesn't mean that they're a rookie. I mean, I had doctors do this to me and they take Kambo all the time. It just means that it didn't light fully. So ideally a torch lighter is what they carry. I had a couple smokers visit, so I think they took my torch lighter, sadly. And yes, we exposed a little hole where my old Kambo mark was. And yes, I am going to put the selenite stick in the alabaster forgiveness, selenite clearing of negative energies, selenite clearing and making sure the purification process of the chakras is open from the base. Gosh, my base was so closed for so long. I got all sorts of things in my lower back because of my root chakra. That's actually fixed. It's stronger. Not the strongest chakra. It's one of the weaker ones still, but it's stronger than my sacral. My sacral was closed off because I quite literally wasn't ready to have relationships this year. That's okay. I was working on healing myself. But I call this the TSA pre-check before getting into a healing ceremony. It's the TSA's pre-check for the chakra plane. Make sure you don't have any bad baggage. This is our best kind of clearing energy crystal, selenite, to help purify or do a quick wash. The Kambo is like the hard lifter kind of bodyguards, you know. If the TSA pre-check doesn't work, you know, the bodyguards will come in and make sure you get on that plane and you have that ride and you experience it because it's what your spirit or some part of you called you to do. Also, while you're watching this video today with me, I went ahead and did a little bit of a kind of bushwhack Australian thing and got a knife. Some people have these metal spatulas. I moved here, and when I moved, I left a lot of my spiritual healing equipment behind, so I have to get new metal stuff I could buy on Amazon for sure. But a knife is really good with the tip because this frog medicine, the peptides of the mucus of the frog, is really finicky to scratch together, and the knife helps pinpoint. So now that that's open, I'm going to go ahead and just apply it right in the tip right here. You can see it a little bit darker than the rest of my skin. It's this acupressure point that will go straight to my pancreas. It's between the two toes, biggest toes. I'm going to apply it right on there and make sure I have a lot of water on standby and lots of paper towels. That's something else they should have. They don't have paper towels. They have a toilet paper roll right there next to you because you might have a lot of spit or mucus come up. And you feel a little stinging of the frog peptides. That is normal. If I feel or you see me be hot in the face, that is normal. Whew, it stings a lot. And I'm just going to talk through this because this is at least a half-hour journey. You take a full dose between the hot and colds and then just your body just totally integrating with the medicine. I even saw visions of a real frog trying to push things out of me, stretching its legs through my body. The experience can take up to 2 hours because you suddenly feel compelled to take a really long nap. So I'm just hoping to sit with the frog medicine today and tell the spirit frog that I'm happy that it helped me come this far since March and sitting in my own power, living the life I wanted. And maybe while this sits in a little bit, I'll tell you what I feel as I feel it, but it still takes about a couple minutes, and I might even feel a sensation come up my leg. But again, it's coming up to the pancreas, a little bit above the sacral chakra, and I'm really setting my intentions with my crystal grid card, like a traveling crystal grid, hold it over my chakra. But I wanted to tell you while it's still sinking in the frog medicine. about some vision journaling I learned at this Astro Vibes yoga retreat that I did in Utah with one of my good friends from high school. You know, you sometimes write affirmations. I know I had a video on this. You might have seen it, 369, but just journaling in general. And a lot of it, you see it a lot on YouTube, TikTok nowadays, is about putting your intentions. I already feel it. I feel it kind of this warm wash kind of pushing on the layers of my skin because that's where it enters first. I see a couple of hummingbirds floating, just looking and observing, like, wow, where is she going? I really feel like hummingbirds are from the spirit realm, don't you? But I feel this warmness already rushing up to my face. The Kambo is a medicine that works very quickly. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about vision journaling. And play a little bit of the Epona song. So vision journaling is important because it talks about living in a future state that is aligned with your goals, your integrity, your values. Oh, as I'm speaking, I feel a warmness coming up into my throat and into my face, all the way up my spine. Wow, my solar plexus feels hot, tight, my heart. Oh my gosh, I feel it coming up to my face. I haven't seen you in a while, Frog. Did you miss me? This is stronger than I first thought it was going to be. Whew. You might see my face flush. It definitely feels flush. It is strong stuff. Whew. This is where it's good that people help facilitate you. You always want to be in a group. I have people inside on standby to help me. Is that they often spray nice cool water or spray. This is my Zen spray. Lang Lang has crystal, eucalyptus, rose oil. It's very grounding. And some just water spray. Feels really good. Sometimes a microdose can feel like different. May not be micro. The doses I take of my Hape, it doesn't alter my state so much as it makes me more aware. Everything I do now is awareness. I used to take Ritalin. I used to take PTSD medication. Kambo, something I might sit averaging out to once a month, but I do call upon and reflect on the frog spirit, at least that often. I write different affirmations and thank yous to the frog spirit because of that lovely time I saw it dancing around this altar in this retreat I went to in Utah with other Kambo practitioners. It was just lovely. It was like coming out and celebrating, letting me know after my third sitting with Kambo, I took it 3 times, 3 days in a row. So intense. Telling me there's nothing in you that needs to be healed right now. But I feel like a lot of the pressure, the poisons shot up, not only in my sacral, I feel it. Oh, gotta feel the card. Hold the card as I feel it over my sacral because that's part of my healing intention. Oh, even the mosquitoes scanning me like, what's going on with your body? I feel like this frog medicine's confusing the mosquito that's going around. Holding over my chakra, the tiger's eye. It's Flower of Life crystal grid. I made a pocket crystal grid. I'll hold it over my crown, my third eye, telling me how I feel. Frog poison's really only a poison when you don't have any intention or don't know what it's about. This is a medicine that's been used for thousands of years amongst the native peoples of the Amazon. And so it's really potent, incredible stuff. But you have to have a high level of respect for it and hold it in a very special reverence because it really does some heavy lifting and work. And it's helped a lot of people that had a lot of trying times in their lives. So while I'm feeling it, and again, it's really cutely positioning itself around my skull. I feel it kind of pushing out in my eyes and just, I feel like it wants to be present and speak through me. I think it wants to help me articulate my voice because I felt it shoot up straight up my spine, but sit in my heart, sit in my throat. I think it's telling me what is helping me heal it's an incredible medicine. There's nothing like it in the world. The only thing I could say is that if you feel so called to do so, sit with it. Before I felt confident enough to sit with a stronger medicine like this, I was doing meditation every day for 6 straight months, just healing my root chakra and on up. Every week I would start with a different chakra. If I felt like I was still weak in my root chakra, I'd go back down. But doing that, I felt like was really healing my body. But there's certain allergies and stuff, kind of the itchiness you see me do now. It's mosquitoes love me. I have that kind of O positive blood that's sweet that mosquitoes love. But while doing the chakra work, I felt like there's more of an overall here. There's more I need to explore. And then I saw this call from some friends that I knew saying they're going to this retreat in Utah. And I'm like, gosh, why does it feel so right to go there with them? And so I did. And it was a lovely, life-changing time. And there's nothing quite like it in the world when you feel like you're home. You know, we grow up, we get out of feeling this sense of wonderment as a child, and we replace it with travel and this feeling of freedom. So we say freedom is individuality, but we as humans are designed and wired to be connected to each other and really love. I think we lost that somewhere along the way between childhood and adulthood. Being in this retreat and tribe of healers, it felt like home because we all cared for each other and held space and really wanted and held each other in such high regard and wanting for the other to heal and for ourselves to heal. So I heal, you heal, I heal. Seeing so many people heal in the same space was such a beautiful thing to see. I think Tootsie likes to see me heal too. My beautiful, fluffy Norwegian cat. But something I wanted to tell you about vision journaling, sorry I was bouncing around a little bit, is that I was at this retreat in Utah, out in the mountains, about 2 hours east of Salt Lake City. And this beautiful, he's a DJ, but he's also a really awesome yogi, told me about vision journaling and saying mudras before you go into these different hand figures, Ayurvedic practice of different mudras that actually channel certain energies, similar to meridians through different fingers. You can do mudras in the Ayurvedic tradition and chant that before you journal. But also keep in mind, anything you journal, you can't say with the intention of not wanting something bad that you don't want in your life. Like, I'm so happy. You write in the present for vision journaling. Like, hey, it's so great to be in good health. But then if you start slipping into and not ever feeling ill again or whatever, you're calling into the present existent again and how you felt ill. And you might feel ill just thinking about it. So you're trying to change your perception of thought and thinking more positively as if you're already healed, if that's something you want. Or say you want to travel more. Like I put in my vision journal, I wanted to be in Indonesia for my birthday. So I talk about how it was in Indonesia. Like the water's so crystalline beautiful. It really is the fountain of youth that I dreamt when I was a teenager or in college. Having friends come with me and show me the local places and the delights in food was just gorgeous. And learning about the Buddhism and the different, many religions and traditions all living together in harmony in one street or neighborhood was beautiful. Visiting the different temples where the yogis and orangutans and wildlife sit was inspiring and put me in awe in the majesty of nature. I wrote all of this out in my journal and I just felt like, man, I really think I'm going to go to Indonesia in January. So we'll see how that works out. It's another way to think about one of the sessions I did earlier, which I said before, the 369 journaling, but conceptualizing it as if it already happened to you. So you're putting it in your reality, so nothing's too far out of your reach anymore. And when you do that, you're really calling into your power, just that you have the power to do that. Because what you say and what you think and what you do by saying and feeling it becomes your reality or it becomes your goal. Because often, like say, oh man, being so healthy and having a great body, I feel so healthy. People ask me for advice and what I do for my body. If you start journaling that, you most often the next day wake up and be like, this is who I am. This is what I love to be now. Why would I eat that burger all the time? I love burgers personally. I still eat them on the weekends, but why would I make this an everyday thing when I know that future me is so cool and badass and I felt it today? I can feel it later. Because when you journal normally and say, hey, you know what? I would just be happy if I got $10,000. Well, that's just a thing Ultimately, it's a vibe that you're trying to keep high. So if you feel that happiness, and money can't buy happiness, we all know that. It can buy convenience, but it can't bring peace and divinity to your soul unless you do the soul work and soul searching yourself. We all know this to be true. So instead of journaling maybe that you want $10,000 in the future, you could say, oh, I'm so wealthy. I have an abundance in my bank account. It's just so lovely because I could give money when people need, and I can take money out when I need to go and visit people I love when they're sick, and enjoy and celebrate when there's a happy time because someone's going through a wedding. It's so important to have these resources available to you because that's part of life, being there for people. If we were so perfect in God that we were like perfect right on the onset in creating us, he would have made just one of us. Why try to elaborate on perfection? But this consensus reality we were thrown into, this simulation, I don't believe that this life you all came into existence to live and experience, was meant for us to learn from each other. So if learning from each other is just money, I don't think that's where it's at. Money is just a construct. It's just paper. Soon to be blockchain, digital currency. But, ultimately, money doesn't describe your worth. You describe and define your worth. You are abundance. You are love. You are joy. Because you say so. No one else needs to say so. I really feel the burning between my toes. I think it was because I burned a couple times. Still stayed in the superficial layer. It's just a little acute in the burn hole, really. Of course, I have a couple bites. It's telling me to get moving. So quantum journaling is so important. And I'll actually share it with you. I put it away, but I wanted to share with you some of the experts. That's why I had it open. What I wrote when I was in Utah. I talked about Indonesia to you, but said a couple things like abracadabra, I say it, so I create. It's one of the oldest words in the human language. And I bet you just thought it was just something a magician says. It's I speak, so I create. What's even cooler, I talked a little bit about the mudras in the Ayurvedic tradition. You sit cross-legged, the mucus might fall off, but it already did its thing. I don't think it's going to get any more into my system than it did. It really told me to be present and be in my headspace with you now. That's directly where the frog spirit went to, on top of my sacral. I think it's just sitting right, telling me I am doing the work. Just keep going. I didn't even do my hape. You can do it during, but since people tend to already be nauseous during Kambo ceremony, not necessarily the best thing to do. I'll do it at the tail end because for me, a microdose only lasts a half hour. But you typically do it before. Some people, once they're done and come down, they do it after. People do this multiple times a day. I like to do it once or twice. During the weekend, I often forget because I'm just so busy running around helping people. Like I was at the hospital the last 3 days with my friend. So it made me feel called to do that. So abracadabra, whatever I speak becomes my reality. And then keep in mind, sometimes journaling just about what you appreciate and what you feel like you have abundance of, what you're grateful for. Whatever you appreciate appreciates. It gains momentum and it builds upon it. Whatever you give, you then realize you have more to give. What do I mean by that? It means you actually get more coming to you. It's the law of reciprocity. They're actually spiritual laws of the universe to say this, that it's true. It's like the oldest laws out there, like the 10 Commandments, And this may seem all woo-woo to you, like I said before, but how many of you believed in your astrology? You can't say, well, I don't really believe in it, Stephanie. Well, if you look it up and just see how you feel outside of what your mind's telling your body, which they're not always aligned. So if your mind, body, spirit isn't aligned, you're not getting the full picture. You might go look at your horoscope. That's a belief system. Anything you look at and you look for relief is a belief. So try to think of it this way, that chakras is not way out there in woo-woo, metaphysical land. It's no different in exploring the importance of exploring it, just like your horoscope or astrology. How can we say we're not governed by the stars? And when Neil deGrasse Tyson himself says we're made of the very things that star stuff is made of. When I went to my Kambo retreat, I've held my first moldavite. It's a meteorite that fell into the Czech Republic in a river, Moldo, it's a city. And they named it after the city, Moldovite. And some people, conspiracy theorists, or people that are really in touch with this. I'm a Hadarian starseed. I found out from this crystal. It told me I was a starseed because of the way I feel, the way I have unconditional love, that I realize I have to have unconditional love for myself. But in this consensus reality I was born into, not feeling like I'm 100% from this planet, even though I know I'm human and I have a mom and dad, but feeling part of my spirit was born elsewhere many lifetimes ago. I can't subscribe to the unconditional love that I felt in other lifetimes and life forms, only because we live in a reality where we're being tested to our limit. Our integrity and values are getting tested at every turn. And the downloads I received holding this was not only I need to research what Hadarian or what type of starseed I am, because there's dozens of them. I'm from the B and A Centauri system, the closest constellation. And Proxima Centauri is the closest Earth-like planet next to us. So it makes sense. If we're all made of star stuff, I'd be someplace close to this home, but had another home. We're all phoning home, or we all go home. We all make new homes someplace. And why was I telling you this? Sorry. I found this because I felt called to the Kambo, and after taking Kambo, I saw someone holding this. I'm like, I need to hold that. And they're like, be careful. It's very psychic. It's almost chaotic energy. And some people will say it. They hold a Moldovite. Suddenly people shape shift out of their world and stuff. But then they find when dust settles, it's all for the better. This came into my life, and I felt just this wave of golden crystalline light of just love. And I realized I'm home. I need to find out where my prior home was, but I'm home. This spiritual practice, healing practice, is home for me. Anyways, I hope you got a little something from that. Crystal grids, Moldovite is a tektite, but you can use it in crystal grid work. I wanted to mention that because this is all newer to me. I have not been practicing this my whole life. If you told me just 3 years ago, like, you'd be talking about crystals and Amazon medicine, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, I'm supposed to be told that anyone doing it is crazy, or believe it. People, oh, kitty walking on the fence, he's adventure. We've been trained our whole lives that anything outside of what we're told to believe is good. Modern medicine, big pharma, or popular, that it's then alternative and not good. And frankly, this whole path has taught me that I feel more integrated, I feel more connected, I feel more loving, I feel more divinely positioned to step in my own power. I realize that unconditional love means I have to put conditional boundaries between me and persons, because I also have to have unconditional love for myself. And what does that mean? Is that it's okay that if I get hurt from someone I unconditionally love, to then put a boundary there and be like, well, that hurt me. I'm not going to give you access to me. Anymore. It's okay to have certain parameters, maybe not expectations, but high standards, because that's how I want to live. I'm an individual human after all, and I have certain standards tied to morals and values that I live by. And I think we've all lost that somewhere along the way because it's about making the money, right? Well, crystals, like, there's no money in the world that could say, like, what this means to me. I couldn't buy this. This was made out of love, and the crystals I put together out of divine knowledge. And it's the flower of life too, sacred geometry. So I feel so healed by it. They don't make this and mass produce it because it's lost in translation. The spirit is lost out of it. So there's a lot of things that money can't buy, believe it or not. Back to the journal. There's something else with the mudras. And sometimes it's good to chant this over and over. There's I am statements, and ideal environment that you can write how it is. Writing 3 things you're grateful for. And then just sitting upright, breathing into your power. I want to breathe into my sacral chakra because I'm really loving and wanting to feel it activated. So then when I do feel someone who is my forever person come along my path, I will feel in my creative power, because sacral power is related to creative energy power. I will feel ready to receive that love or divine guidance from the universe to steer me, or just keep in flow. So I'm ready to receive love. And I have so much love with the friends and family already. I'm not putting a time limit on this, like love finds love. But the mudra I wanted to share with you, it starts with the thumb and the pinky, then goes up to the ring finger, then the middle finger, and then the index finger, and then there's a chant that goes along with it. And it's worth a Google too. But if you're curious enough and you subscribe to my channel, I will also tell you about what the different fingers relate to, and a little bonus, the meridians and what parts of the body it helps heal. You ever feel little twitches in your fingers or your eyes or your legs? It's your body pushing out from the inside, tapping physically, letting you know this might be related. Something on the bottom of your foot twitching might be related to your kidneys. Like, the body actually is an alarm system that tells you how it's feeling, and you don't even know it. Everything happens for a reason, right? Back to the mudras. Pinky, ring, middle, pointer. And we're going to start with I on the pinky. And it's going to go like this. I create my reality. So pinky, thumb, ring finger, thumb. Create, middle finger, thumb, my, pointer finger, thumb, reality. I create my reality. I create my reality. I create my reality. And just keep going it until it gets to a whisper. I create my reality. I create my reality. I truly feel like this is true for me, because I moved out of a garage just 4 months ago and moved into this beautiful place to sit here with you. And I couldn't ask for a better place. And it wasn't even on the market. They were already renting it, but they're like, Stephanie, we want you to live here. And I feel like that's part of this mudra. I create my reality. I create my reality. And if you feel like it's a little mushy or schmaltzy because you're not feeling it, you could say it at the end, with one hand over the heart and one on the base, your root. Even supercharge it more. Get a rose quartz crystal and obsidian to ground you. Hold it to your chest and your womb, or lower to your root chakra, and be like, without self-doubt, I create my reality. I am love. I am abundance. I am light. And I do believe I deserve every given right to live beautifully and harmoniously right now. Without self-doubt is important, because then you can get back in the mudras and with confidence go, I create my reality. I create my reality. Isn't that right, Gizmo? Do you create your reality? Do you create your reality? I create my reality. Oh, going back in. I create my reality. We really do create our reality. And if you're in a situation where you feel stuck and you're like, well, Stephanie, it's really this other person or thing or obstacle creating my reality, don't make it your full reality. Start by removing yourself and go to the park. If you don't have access to crystals, if all this stuff, is a little bit too much of a cost for you right now, take your shoes off in a park where there's grass or just earth and ground yourself with your feet and do the mudra. I create my reality. You'll start seeing and feeling the warmth circulate between your fingers. You're still a living being and you're here for a reason. And part of it is to heal yourself. You create your reality. So something I feel like is so related to breathing into your chakras, feeling the vibes of the crystals, is also doing your vision journaling, doing your 369 affirmations or journaling, and really creating the life you want by writing about it. Vision boards is another way, and I actually have one framed in the middle of my house, like as if it's like this altar that I see every day. And it really is, because half of it, no joke, has already come true. And I did it, the new year, and some of the stuff I never would have imagined came into my life. So things that I said, I am, and it can be anything. I am rich, and it's in many different ways. I am beautiful, I am healthy, and I am flexible. Flexible also has to do with, I was the worst at yoga for the longest time. So I actually really wanted to be flexible in that way. And I kid you not, you wouldn't believe this. The very next day, after I said I was flexible, I caught a mosquito. After I said I was flexible, I actually went and did yoga and when I did the yoga, I did a pigeon pose, a king pigeon that I never thought I could do in a million years. And I just rocked it. And I leaned in, I leaned back, and it was very amazing. I had an incredible time doing it. Yeah, so that was part of me creating my reality. I talked about how I was going to be flexible. The next day I sat in a yoga class, and it was maybe the series and the way he did it. He tried to explain to me. I'm like, why did I do that so easily with you versus I couldn't do it with anyone else? He's like, maybe it was the series. I'm like, maybe I just felt it. And maybe I was just ready. I was calling into existence the fact that I am ready. And there's something to be said for that, right? So I see a hummingbird floating over there. If you guys have any advice on how I could get less mosquitoes biting me, and I kid you not, I have like the organic spray to keep them away and everything. It's not working. If you have any other advice on what I could do, maybe even a chant, let me know, because we're all in this together. I don't know all the secrets yet, but they love me so much. I feel like they're sort of my friends, but they also love to bug me. So they're kind of like that pesky friend that you like to have around sometimes, but not all the time. That's what's happening here now. So yeah, please let me know in the comments if you have anything to help me heal the mosquitoes. This combo was amazing. It was so good. If I spray some more water on it, I don't know if it'll come back up to my face. Sometimes it comes in waves as it flows through your system. But it really did its work today. It really did. Oh. I am going to do the hape now. We're almost at the hour anyway. So I am going to sit cross-legged. I think I'm going to take the combo out because it showed me what it needed to show me. It just shot up straight to my face. I call Kambo the tail medicine because it goes right towards the intention I say for it. What do I need? What do I need to see? What do I need to heal? And like an incredible animal, like a dog, that I don't feel like is subservient to us, but a responsive companion, which is the Kambo, it comes straight to you, to wherever you call it to go. Not saying you can command it to fix certain things, but it'll help you see. And if you have reverence and love and respect for it, it'll help you see things that maybe you're not even ready to see, but that's okay. When you feel called to this medicine, it's because you're open and curious to go beyond what you know. And isn't that the point, is to keep learning and growing? Stay green, you grow. Get old and ripe, you just fall off the vine and rot, become compost for the next green thing to grow, We're either consistently expanding in this life or shrinking. And I don't know about you, I don't want to be shrinking. I want to be expanding. I want to feel connected and part of the collective. I think it's so important. There's the crystal grids. I got a pea size of hape. This is the kirpe I was telling you about earlier. I'm going to scoop up half of it now. Breathe it in. Say thank you, brother, sister, spirit of the Sapa, the Kambo, spirit frog, for your ancient wisdom and medicine in coming to us through the form of the ayahuasca vine. Interesting story. Some tribes believe Kambo was shown to us in a vision from an ayahuasca ceremony many, many years ago, countless years ago. And a tribe being sick, they wanted to know what could help people more from physical ailments. And the ayahuasca showed them a vision that you need to consult the frog. And it showed them exactly where to find it and speak it. And then the frog just came down. It didn't even protest. It let the person take the mucus off of its back, the peptides that cures them. And his tribe was healed. So I feel very, very at one, and I feel more insightful. I felt like more insights were coming to me today. Felt like the frog just went right up, crawled right up into my head and was like, okay, you're here, present. This is what I'm here to do. There's nothing you really need to heal in yourself, Stephanie, except stay on the path that you've been working on. Keep working. I already scooped up this half size of the pea, half of the pea, It goes up my divine masculine first because I'm female leaning. Even though I have tomboy tendencies, I am female leaning. I'm going to go ahead and let it light up my right side, almost like horseradish. See how I'm feeling? And then go to the feminine, say a little chant, and then we'll be done. Strong yet smooth. Ooh, and sweet. And this hoppy usually smells really earthy, but sweet. I feel like it's because the Kambo medicine integrates and you smell different things and you feel different on Kambo. So sweet opposed to earthy and almost a little salty. I'm not surprised. Sweet. Maybe the sweetness is tipping my senses to how sweet and wonderful experience this is to share this with you. It's really beautiful. I wish I stopped itching myself. That's not beautiful. That's mosquito bites. Again, if you have any natural remedies outside of the organic sprays, let me know, please. I know there's certain oils and stuff. I try those too, trust me. I'm wondering if it's a certain smoke or a crystal or even a saying. I would love to know that too. Let me know. Mosquitoes love me. I don't know why. Okay. This is going to go up my divine female. Even smoother. I feel so connected to Earth right now. Divine spirits and all creatures and light beings, thank you for the enlightenment and illuminations you brought us here today. May you bring us from the unreal to the real, from the dark to the light, and may you inform us in the ways of the light path, even when doing the shadow work. We understand that this is a cycle, and we choose to be our best and most highest versions of ourselves. Thank you for your loving guidance and letting us step into your light. Ashe, so be it. Thank you. Until next time.